So like I was saying, it really all depends on the material selection and the area you're designing the project for. So for example, if the project is in Florida, then there's a certain type of wood or lumber you can propose for the project. But if it's in New York, it's gonna be different. Now let's go back to the post design, uh, the one that I designed. So let me open up the calculations. Alright, so here I'm proposing 4x4 and I'm using a dog fir or larch. So dog fir and larch or larch, they have similar structural characteristics. So that's why here in this software it's showing you dog fir dash larch. So that's sawn lumber, of course. Now I use the 4x4 pose. Now this is a very simple project, but you can see, and I use number one. Now there's number one, two, three. My design proposes number one. Uh, Now you can look at the compressive stress. It's 94% utilization, which is very efficient. Now the next one, like if you want to upsize to 6x6, it's gonna be over designed. Now let's see 6x6. What's the utilization there? Let's take a look at it. So using 6x6, you'll be only at 25% utilization, which is extremely over designed. Now, I know if you only have couple, it's not a big deal, but if your project has like 20 of them or 30 of them, then the cost is gonna, increase a lot. So it's gonna be less efficient. So that's why we as engineers, we try to be as efficient as possible, because at the end of the day, the owner want to save some money also on the project. And our job is to give the safest and also most efficient design. Um, so and also, if you take a look, like if you want to use, like for example, other type of lumber, or let's see, let's go with southern pine. Let's go with southern pine so we can put this to test. Where is it? Southern pine here. Now southern pine, of course, here it's gonna pass, but because we upsized per the example to 6x6. But let's go back to my original design, which is 4x4, and check if it passes. Alright, so Southern Pine doesn't work here as a 4x4. You need to increase it to 6x6. So that's why, I found the dog fir to be more efficient at 4x4 than using Southern Pine at 6x6. So this is where you as an engineer, you have to use your judgment. So yeah, obviously this is not working. Compressive stress is exceeded. So let's go back to dog fir. And again, it's dog fir or larch. So it depends. But like I was saying, you have to make sure whatever you propose as far as material type or material selection, it has to be available in the area where you are. It's very important, because you cannot be in Miami and propose like northern red oak as material for the project. You gotta turn the contractor's life into a nightmare, and nobody's gonna find that down there. Or if they find it, it's gonna be extremely expensive. So you have to really design your project based on the locality and based on the availability of the material in the region. So this is a couple important things to keep in mind. Let's go back to. Let's play this, just the two of us. All right, now we gotta talk about the LVL beam.
What if there was?
Okay, so for the same project, also I had an LVL beam designed. Now let's go and check what I proposed there. So I proposed an LVL beam, which is a composite section, composed of three sections. Now you can see here member details. So I chose 14 by 1 3/4 of an inch section, and I'll show you why. But anyway, it's a microlam LVL, which is, keep in mind, you can only use this in interior application, not exterior. Exterior, you can use PSL beams, which are pressure treated. But in our case, this is interior beam. Anyway, so yeah, let's go over the numbers. So you can see here it passes perfectly the bearing stress, bending stress, shear stress, and deflection as well. But anyway, why did I choose that section? Why did I use three? And again, this is where you gotta be creative, and you're gonna have to try, 3, 4 times and see what's the best design. Uh, And by the way, you do all of that after you input your loads, which are, if it's exterior, then you gotta add wind, but dead load and live load and all the good stuff first before you start any of that. But I'm just talking about material selection here. Anyway, so let's say I want to use, and by the way, for LVL beams, you cannot choose a section, you cannot come up with the size you want. There's standard sizes you have to select from, and you cannot just choose any number you want. So the lower section that I have is 11.875. So let's go with that and see if it works. And it fails. So it doesn't work. So go back to my original design, which is 14 by 1 3/4 of an inch. That works perfectly. So that's why I chose that. And I tried like two sections and I upsized. But you have to be careful also about and coordinate that with the architect, how much the ceiling height needs to be in your renovation project. Because, the deeper the beam is the smaller the ceiling clearance, basically, or ceiling height. Anyway, so for this, I used, again, like I said, 14-inch microlam LVL, and works perfectly. So again, to just finish this video, you gotta be careful when designing. Choose the right section and choose a good design and efficient that works perfectly for the region. Do not just propose any lumber or any wood just because it passes the structural design. No, it's not the point. You have to be mindful of what's available in the area you're designing for, because again, every area is different. If the project is in New York, it's going to have different type of wood than Miami or California. So keep that in mind.